Maybe that's what it was looking for. Oh, and the sun? Hi. Um, yeah, let's work it out. I don't know. I think I have to stay still. I'm watching this little monitor like going off, and all I can hear is this. I'm sorry, like I'm Eero. All right. I'm trying so hard to like be cool, right? Um, it's just one of those days, man. And I don't have any makeup on, so like, I mean, it's not like that big of a deal, but I think when I'm like, when I don't get my mind right, my face isn't right. And like not having um, makeup on, I think just emphasizes things, but I just don't care. I'd rather just be raw. You know what I'm saying? Like just be like, I wouldn't say like the lowest state, but I think this is pretty much the lowest like mind frame that I get into um, on a regular basis, and it's not very like regular. Um, I just spent like, I've been trying to be cool for school, and it's weird when you think that you got something right and that you're pretty experienced as an artist, and then you have someone who tells you like no repeatedly, and for something that's like relatively minor. I mean, I know it's what I signed up for. It's like when you sign up to go to school, you sign up to pretty much, especially with art, to be told by somebody um, that you're signing up to hear their opinion, right? And that person has like a certain degree of like say so when it comes to things. So, and it's weird when you see that you've put out good work and it's not like there's no compliments. And I think I've been going through this in life. Like, I experienced this in undergrad. I only had like one teacher really give me compliments, and that was my AP art teacher in high school, Mrs. Toth. Um, AP meaning advanced placement. Oh, and I did have a college professor who saw like the way that I did things was different, and they encouraged me, instead of doing like a graphic design final project for my graduate project, they said that was, they encouraged me to apply to like one of the top actually one of the top art schools in the country for automotive design, to go to graduate school. That was a compliment. And then of course, my mentor. And but with my mentor, I like compartmentalize um, him and art so much. Like it's a different thing, because when it comes to compliments, like I don't know why I find myself like rejecting his compliments. It's kind of strange. Um, but and I think I've had other people compliment my work, but it's always been kind of like you know, related to my gender. You know, like I am good for a woman, or women don't usually, you know, do work like mine. And, you know, it's always like a compliment that has still like a jagged edge. So, and right now, like, I'm trying to figure my professional life out, because in that realm, it's like you think going to graduate school is going to help like your professional life. And then you get kind of, there's still like competition amongst artists. So I think like as like a student, like one that is a student that has a, like, you know, I guess it's all relatively speaking, but like there's difference from like a new student versus like a graduate student. And I think maybe at the graduate level, it's like when you're around your instructors, it gets closer to being around your peers. I think especially for me, and the light is like going away, so it's getting kind of dramatic in here. Let me see. This is gonna be so dramatic. I'm already being like dramatic right now. But like it gets closer to being kind of like you're around your peers. And that sometimes like creates an ambiance of like work comparison. Like it does for me. And even in undergrad, I had problems with like taking classes, and I don't have this problem now, but I had problems with taking classes from people whose work I didn't respect. And like I said, that's not happening now. But it did happen twice in undergrad. And it led to like good things, you know? Like I refused to take painting with the painting professor, or the professor who, you know, taught the painting class. I think I have enough light that I can move back. I just don't like the sound of the lens. Okay, it seems like it locked onto me there. Maybe it's because there's something in the background, like I'm wanting, it's like it's focusing. I don't understand this camera yet. I'm getting there, but I just don't get it. But yeah, like I refused to take painting with, I didn't refuse, like, I'm gonna, you know, quit school. I went to the dean, and I think I've said this story before, maybe, I don't know. Maybe because it's just part of my artistic career. My freshman year, I got in good with the dean of the art department, because either my freshman or my sophomore year. But this guy was like scary guy. You know, like short worded, like short winded, real curt, real like Deanie, you know, and so people just, his name was Richard Tichich. And, you know, I had a problem with my schedule, and I needed to take a class. And I think it was something like I was going to start my major classes, so maybe this was my sophomore year. But basically, I had to take certain classes in order to take other classes. And the school made a problem. And he got the files because the school couldn't really do too much with it. So, and he was the dean of the art department, so that's when like that happens. And so, he, excuse me, he made it so I would meet with him once a week. And he would give me a personal assignment. Like, sounds so creepy, but I promise you, totally nothing. He was never disrespectful. It was never anything crazy. If anything, I was like nervous because he, you know, at the time, you know, me being like relatively younger, probably like 17, 18, I'm like, I get like so many scam calls a day. Anyway, but anyway, so I was kind of nervous at first because, you know, like as an adult, you kind of understand where that kind of person is coming from, like, you know, superiors and all of that. You're still in that like school mode. Authority means something. Like, authority means something as an adult now, but like in school it carries this parental kind of weight. And like undergrad, like younger person stuff, like half my age stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like 20 years later you're kind of like, okay, cool. But at the time you're kind of like, oh my gosh, I gotta meet this guy, it's gonna be like awkward and feel kind of stupid in here, and am I gonna fail, like, you know. And so he just assigned to me a project where I wrote a paper on basically whatever I chose. So I chose the war in, like the civil war, like Bosnia and Herzegovina, I think you pronounce it like that. Or is it the Czech? No, it's Bosnia and Herzegovina, I think. I think, like, basically it was a civil war that was going on, and I compared it to, like, the Baroque art period, which is, you know, like chamber music, like, ooh, you know, like, whoa, like gothic, but, like, real. You know what I'm saying? Like, plague stuff. I don't know, like, just scary, you know? And so the paper got published, and that was cool. I'm not so hot of a writer, but I guess it was interesting enough to put on like a website, which I was very proud of. You know, gotta claim those victories, man. And that's what I was trying to do recently, but I kind of got slammed again. Like, you think someone's on the verge of like complimenting you, and then it's another like, nope, you didn't get it right, and this is why, like, everything is wrong. And it's like, dude, you okay, fine, like, you just like shrug it off. But at that point, you know, the class that I did refuse to take, I didn't like the lady's attitude, and I didn't like her painting style. And I was like, this is a pretty pivotal point in my career, you know, like, I'm in college and I don't know when I'm going to be taking professional classes again. And so, you know, professional level classes, you know, like college level, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, I was like, I'm not going to have her like tweak my career, you know? It's like, remember, like, in Clueless, how they're at like tennis practice at the high school, and one of the girls takes like professional tennis lessons, and she's like, I have a note from my coach, and, you know, he said it's not good for me to practice here because it's going to undo his teaching. That's kind of what I had in mind in undergrad, because I was like, if I learn from her, like, whatever I learn from her is going to stick around, and I don't want anything about her sticking around. No offense to her, but she was just smug and arrogant, and she had shitty work. And I was like, one of the three I can take, but all three combined, like, I can take shitty work and being a nice person, and I can take like a smug attitude and you have like stellar work, you know. I could totally deal with that, you know, but like both combined, I was like, no. As a youngin', I like was like, no with that. So I and another time was this photography teacher who like wrote this huge synopsis at the end of the semester about how terrible of a student I was. But like, her work was shitty, and spoke really highly of herself, and she just did stupid work. You know, like close-ups of like stupid little dolls, and you know, I'm not trying to insult the woman's work, right? But it was like lace and frill and, you know, zooming in on a doll's face and flowers and, you know, that kind of like same work. And but it was, you know, in the dark room. But she spoke so highly of herself. And I was just like, and we butted heads, and she just wrote this long synopsis to the department about how bad of a student I was. And I was just like, well, I think you're as equally as a shitty teacher. So here we are. I just don't care. Just don't care. With some people, you just draw the line, and it really doesn't matter. It's just like how I feel is what it is, and it's a conclusionary situation. Let me see if I'm still recording. So, okay, yeah, see, no messages. I don't get many messages. Usually they're from my school, but like the junk calls, like my phone scares me when it rings. I'm like, I'm scared by a junk call. But anyway, so when it came to painting, me having had a class and having rapport with the dean made it easier to approach him for the request for the professor I did want, who was named Yusha Liu from China. And she was in town because she, I guess, had a homie at the university. And he was, and I was like, can I please, like, you know, be in a class with Yusha as an independent study for painting? Because she didn't offer painting. She was doing portrait drawing and figure drawing. Those are the two classes that she taught. He's like, we don't do that, but, you know, if she'll agree, you know, then that's fine. And I was like, well, I asked her, and she was cool, and it worked out, and it was like one of the best like points in my academic career, you know. So, because she was really good. So, and I didn't try to like bite her style too much, but she did have like that Renaissance kind of quality that I like. So I did pick up a lot from her, but I was trying not to, like, you know what I'm saying, step on toes, because I respect that. And that, you know, so you fast forward to my class, like, now, like at the time I didn't see Yusha as a peer. I saw her purely as an instructor. But 20 years later, like, I didn't paint continuously or professionally that whole time. I painted professionally maybe like 1 year, and it was only technical professionalism. And a lot of time was doing graphic design. Some time was, you know, like hardly any like fine art, like, you know, painting or drawing at all. So, you know, but other times we're in a sculpture studio, and, you know, I had a career. I've had experience, right? So you go to where we are now, I'm kind of like, okay, so, but I'm still learning stuff from the class. But the class is given, like, the instructors, they go through like the technical way of like addressing the class, and I guess that's what I'm experiencing. But the class is like moderated by the instructors. They're not like professors who are like one-on-one. They are professors, but with the online part, I think that is like when they just act as moderators, you know? So that's what's going on. My leg is falling asleep. Butt hurts. Sorry, I'm being all like wild. But I'm feeling all wild. I feel like I've been working all day and didn't really get anywhere. I worked all night, didn't really get anywhere. Try not to complain, but I gotta vent sometimes, man. Like, and I thought that the work I did finally for once was something that was acceptable, and then it was just like, no. And mind you, like, I'm behind in the class trying like to like get a passing grade. So I thought that I was gonna get that little V for victory, and, you know, then you look around and, like, I don't know, it's like you try to focus on yourself. I try to, you know. Am I disappearing here? This is all dramatic. It's all dramatic again. Let's see if I can have it find me. But Oh, you found me. Found like my nose. I'm like talking in the dark here. But camera's probably like the fuck. Oh gosh. But yeah, the sun is setting. I do have this. Okay, let's hold on. This might help. Oh shit. Okay. Does this help? I don't know. I'll just hold it here because let's see. I don't have a bracket for my camera. I did order one, but it didn't come in. It showed like it was in the middle of shipping, and then it just got stuck in some state for like a week and a half. So some bootleg shippers on eBay just like this. I think they really do have factories, most of them, but sometimes they like something shifty seems like it's going on. Like it seems like stuff is ordered from China, because it'll be like a listing that's available directly from Hong Kong or some city like that, and then it'll be like the same product but it'll have like a US listing. But then those are the people I order from, because I want what I want, you know. I just don't feel like waiting for it to cross through customs, because from China it's like 2 months, and that just won't work right now. Otherwise I would wait. Fuck it, I don't even know. But anyway, like sometimes I think they just have some shit and they're like, yeah, it's here, but it's really not, or sometimes they don't send it out at all, and that's what happened with this bracket situation. That's how I feel right there. Fuck. I don't feel motivated to do anything. It's like a monologue. I don't feel motivated. I don't feel like it. Is it okay if I just go to sleep? Is it okay if I just like play some video games and like lay it down and just try again tomorrow? Is that okay? I hope it's okay. I wasn't expecting this. Help. Help me. Oh, please. I would scream, but this isn't my crib, but I really do feel like a good scream right now. Okay. I have more. I have lots more. And if you get a couple drinks in me, I'll probably have like a whole lot more. I could probably make a night out